Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. Once you do, hit the notification, get all the updates. Probably a weird video if it's your first video ever, because there's no beer review, and I won't be discussing beer too much directly anyway. So this will be a combination of holy crap, I hit 1,000 subscribers, and holy crap indeed, because it was out of nowhere, and I'm pretty sure someone's messing with me, but I'll get to that more in a second. Just a little recap of 2019, and then what's 2020 going to look like. So, thanks to everyone, obviously, who watches and subscribed and got me to 1,000 subs, which is mind blowing and happened all of a sudden stupid fast. And again, yeah, I think I'm not 100% convinced. So, got up this morning and I had 1,050 subscribers. So some people watching this might be like, why didn't you do a video a little closer to when you had 1,000? Because when I hit 1,000, in our group text, Matt from Massive Beer Reviews, Joe from the Beer Patrol, and Sean and Mike from Nerd Sense, all four of those guys, we're talking about how once I make this video, they're going to unsubscribe, and then I'll go back under 1,000. I'll look like an idiot for posting a video where I hit 1,000 subscribers, and then I don't actually have 1,000 anymore. And I'm also pretty convinced that they just keep making fake Google accounts or whatever email accounts to then subscribe to my channel until I feel confident enough to make this video. So although you might think I'm being paranoid, I'm just here. I have reason to be suspicious. No, I don't really think that's what's happening. I think it was a combination of good timing, where Joe from Jow's Arcade was also doing No Buy November, and he would mention me in a lot of those videos. And then also I had done like the Utopias, and I was doing these Bourbon Counties, and I think it was just this marriage of like probably people maybe checking me out for the first time because of Joe, and then seeing like, oh, cool, he's like doing these beers I've at least heard of or whatever. So I think it's probably other factors I'm not thinking about or didn't consider, but I think that's probably why I got this huge influx of subscribers all of a sudden. So really amazing. It was really weird. Like I would go like a couple days between getting one, and then all of a sudden like, oh, I got 14 today. Like really different numbers, obviously. So anyway, yeah, really excited for that. Really happy. You know, it's a weird thing. Right now I'm in my basement talking into my phone, right, the camera on my phone. And just to think like, oh, that would resonate with anyone is odd, let alone however many people watch my videos, let alone how many people have watched and been like, I like this guy enough to subscribe so I can make sure I see like other videos he posts that I might also be interested in. So yeah, I mean, just totally crazy. And I could keep talking about that aspect of it. One of the best things about this is meeting people virtually, in real life, whatever. And not to get like too personal or whatever, but like the year, not too long after I started doing this, for about a year, my wife, short version, had not liked her job. And she had moved about 2 hours away. During the week, she'd go to this new job, and then on the weekend, she'd come home. You're missing your partner. I'm by myself with, the kids were there. But, like, okay, what do I do for fun or interact with people? I'm a very social person, and okay, I'm just at my house, and teenage girls didn't really want to hang out with me. Shocker. So like they're doing their own thing, and I'm just with my dog, right? So like it was like a nice thing to do these beer reviews and interact with people, and just kind of, it was something to do. And then I ended up moving to the Albany area with her, found a job that was horrible. It was the most stressful thing I've probably ever done in my entire life, and I don't have that job anymore. So it was like a nice thing too. Like I could come home and like I did the beer review, and then I would interact with people, and it was like this, like one of the nice things of my day. Which again, I can't overemphasize how horrible that job was, and how miserable I was. And so it's just like, again, not to make it personal, it's just beer reviews, but like, and talking to other people who do this, and even before I did this, like how many cool people I've met in the beer community, like you go to a place, you get talking to the other person at the bar, whatever. It's like, oh, like this is cool. That's interesting. Wow. I'm glad having this conversation. I'm glad we struck it up, and especially in the age of technology, where you're just looking at your phone. It's like, oh yeah, wow, like cool interaction. But while looking at my phone, interacting with people virtually too, it's been so amazing and such a benefit I didn't think about when I started doing this. I'm just like, I'm a teacher. I explain things for a living. I like craft beer. I could probably explain what I'm tasting to a camera about this craft beer, kind of a thing. So just the fact that, 2 hard years in a row where I was missing my wife and then having this horrible job. But now I'm with my wife. I have an amazing job that I love so much. So now everything is good, if you were wondering. Another thing I wanted to talk about was just a little bit of like a recap of the year, because like some really extraordinary things happened to me, beer related. And even though it's a little early in December, I thought, yeah, it might be kind of cool to recap. And I'll mention some of the best beers I had too as part of it. In terms of this specific thing, the coolest thing for sure I did all year was Mad at Massive Beer Review having BeerTuber Palooza. I had met him a couple of times in real life. He was nice enough to have me on 2 of his podcasts, Beer Massive, and we had grabbed beers once before without any podcasting stuff. So I had met him. It was the 2 podcasts in one day and then the other thing. So twice I had met him in real life. So it was the 3rd time I was meeting him and first time going to his house, which was very nice that he invited us, obviously. And then the Nerd Sense guys, I had also for the 2nd time gone out to where they live in Massachusetts and hung out with them and recorded some content. But the 2nd time, which was this year, we also just like focused on like, let's go out to dinner and like hang out and not just do the camera stuff, which we did, which is always awesome, but just like the human level, because they've become like some of my best friends. Like we talk almost every single day. They're also into like comic book stuff like I am. So like we talk beer, comics, comic movies, life, we get, we have some, every once in a while, more serious conversations. So like, yeah, like those guys are some of my best friends, which is weird because I've only met them a few times in real life, but like, we talk all the time. And then what was really cool was I never met Joe from the Beer Patrol. So like, I don't know if I ever really talked about this. I just don't remember if I put it on film or not. I get to Matt's house. There were 2 people who I never met before, 2 of Matt's friends who were very cool, Keith and who I call Cool Joe, just to differentiate because Joe from the Beer Patrol was there. But when I got down there and Joe from the Beer Patrol was there, I barely even said hello to him because I felt like I knew him already. So like the other 2 guys, I'm like, hey, Kyle, nice to meet you, blah, 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 blah. What do you do? And then it was like, you know what? Wait. I've never met this guy. Like, do introduce yourself and like have that conversation too. But it was such an instant like, oh yeah, we know each other. This is awesome. Like, of course we hang out, And then I really don't think have I talked about this on camera. So random. After BeerTuber Palooza, so the Nerd Sense guys and I stayed in one location where we, like, after Matt's house, we went and went to sleep at an Airbnb, and then I woke up and left, right? And then Joe was at a different place. We didn't talk that morning. We didn't coordinate leaving, nothing. Just I left at whatever time I left. He left at whatever time he left. My cousin had texted me the night before some family thing he wanted to talk about. So at some point on the way home from New Jersey to where I live in upstate New York, I pulled over into a parking lot. I called my cousin. We talked for like over an hour. Got back in my car. I was actually going to my dad's cottage, so I was going a different way than I normally go home. And between drinking all day, the driving, the pulling over, I'm like, man, I gotta get some coffee in my system, get something to eat. So I stopped at a Dunkin' Donuts in the middle of nowhere near where I live, nowhere where anyone else I know lives, and I'm in line, and I turn around, and Joe's in line for the bathroom. like of all the places to stop in the whole world, Joe and I are going to completely different places. It made no sense. It was such a weird thing. I'm in line. I think I had already ordered some. My back is to his bathroom line. I'm in line waiting for my Dunkin' Donuts order. And I just happened to be looking around, and I'm like, wait, Joe? Like, weird. So, anyway, I still don't know if I ever told this story. It got me thinking when I was thinking about this video. Like, oh, that's kind of an interesting, weird thing. So, yeah, that was like the coolest beer thing was BeerTuber Palooza. I mentioned seeing Sean and Mike, which also was just in and of itself always a super awesome and fun time. And then a little bit before Beer Tuber Palooza, I did the San Diego thing, and I already talked about that in a separate video and hang out with Joe from Jow's Arcade, and just what a great, awesome dude he was. So like that was another thing is like in real life, meeting some of the people who I've been watching his beer review stuff for a long time. I can't even think how long he's been doing it for, and I've been a fan of it. So like to meet him in life and be like, wow, he's as cool in real life as he is on camera, and just like a nice guy, and all that stuff totally comes through, and it was super rad. To meet him in real life, and his wife also was just a great person, and to drink some delicious modern time beers, and he even gave me a beer too, and I reviewed that from the hotel out there. So yeah, I mean, just it was just so amazing, and then that leads into another crazy thing that literally just happened. I don't know, 30 minutes before I came down here to do this. So when I was out there, he's like, "Oh yeah, you should go to Pariah," and I just didn't have time to go to Pariah. Which is in the San Diego area. At the point I had seen him and he was like telling about it. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember you reviewing. I think I've seen some other people review their stuff, but I've never had it. So for the first time ever, a brewery just got at me like, hey, we like your stuff. Give us a place you want us to send beers to. So Pariah just literally 30 minutes, an hour ago, whatever it was, emailed me like, hey, yeah, what's your address? Well, we totally like what you do and want to send you beer to review. So it's just like, what? Like that's crazy. Like, I've been doing this for a couple years and haven't gotten free beer from breweries, so like I got one free beer. It was a really bad beer, and that's why they gave it to me for free. But that's a different story. So I was like, wow, like it's just, I don't know. You can tell like it's like the whole thing is just I haven't quite wrapped my mind around it yet. So I got that. Oh, and then the other thing too is just a couple people who I've kind of started talking to relatively recently, and you've seen me doing unboxing videos from them. Chris, he's the one who sent me like the Bourbon County early and stuff. I mean, we talk, I don't know, 2-3 times a week probably. And then Dusty had done beer reviews of stuff he sent me and other things that he's helped me acquire, like Abraxas last year, for example, and all the variants. I talked to him. We both get busy, but probably like once a month. So it's just cool. Like it's kind of some of these, people I talk to in the comment sections enough where it's like, yeah, this is cool. I get the gist of this person. These guys I talked to a little bit more, but it's just been really cool. This video must be getting very long. I just realized. All right, so what's some of the best beers I've had this year? So I went through beers. I just scrolled through the videos from this past year and tried to think of some stuff maybe I didn't do on camera as well. So here's what I came up with. In no order, and some of these aren't even just specific beers. So 450 North Slushies. Basically, I'm obsessed, and I regret it so much. I didn't review the, I think it was the Jungle Juice. I had passion fruit as one of the fruits in it. Was the best of them that I've had so far, and of course I didn't review it like an idiot. But like, I'm all in on slushy beers. So like those were 450 North ones, loved them. Got to try more from them and other places. One of the ones I did review was the Oscar Blue and Cigar City. What do they call their Canarchy? Is that their collaboration? Are the ones who do that, right? And I literally am drinking a 1050 right now. I should know the terminology. The Bam Burana, that beer was phenomenal. And I only bought 2 cans, and I really regret that. I have another one aging somewhere up there. But I really wish I had bought more, and then they sold out at my local beer store because that beer was phenomenal. A local brewery. I love it when I'm being honest with myself, and a local brewery can be in my top 5 when I think about the whole year. So since I'm new to the area, I'm checking out these new breweries. To me, Artisanal, I've reviewed some of their stuff. Their Totes Ma Goats series I've loved so much. I didn't get a chance. The first one I had was at a bar, and I couldn't find any cans of it. It was like berry smoothie. That's the best one I had. But I have reviewed like their orange creamsicle, which was great. Their acai bowl, which was great. They had a nice lime sour I reviewed. So I'm really enjoying their a nice local brewery that I'm really liking. One of the things I did relatively recently that also was just amazing was where I did the quad comparison, where it was Westy 12, St. Bernardus, and Rochefort, and those are just 3 of the best beers on the planet. And then to drink them and compare them and then enjoy them the rest of the day was just such a delight, and it really was a pleasure. And then to be all hype, No Hype does like some hype beers. And so Treehouse's 7th anniversary, just their 7 beer, I thought was really good. And I don't know if it's the top 5 beer of the year, but like when I was scrolling through the reviews and videos I did this year, when I got to that one, I was like, oh yeah. And I didn't rewatch all my videos, I don't have time for that, but I was like, that was a really good beer that kind of lived up to, it's our anniversary. We tried to brew something for it, special or whatever. And I was like, yeah, it was a really good beer. And then the last thing, just in terms of 2020, what to expect, boringly, more of the same. Like when I was watching people do this, again, this video must be so long. And if you're still watching, put in the comment section, because I want to give you a congratulations for watching this far into it. When I got into watching people do beer reviews, it was like, oh, I'm drinking a 60-minute IPA. This is what I taste in it. Let me see what other people think about it. So I do kind of like, because of that, the idea of videos you can watch at any time. Like, I try not to be too vloggy about it. Just, here's my beer review. You can watch it whenever you're drinking this beer. It doesn't, have to be kind of around when I post and for it to make sense or whatever. But I have enjoyed the few times I've done like beer stories, just things that have happened that relate to beer. And there's a couple other ideas I have that I think are pretty engaging. Maybe like I've done a couple book reviews at this point. So I kind of want to do stuff like that. I really enjoyed when people were like, hey, I see this on the shelf. Can you maybe review that? Because it's like, yeah, because these are just going to sit here probably until, that happens. So that I really enjoyed and would like to do more of. And yeah, I don't know. Do you have ideas or suggestions? Maybe if I keep getting maybe some more subs and it makes sense, maybe do like, I haven't done any like interactive live stuff where it's like, hey, like at this time, like I'll be on, like come on, we can talk and drink a beer or whatever. And I feel bad because Matt Massive has started doing that. Actually, he did 1050 on his last one, and both times I wasn't available because I love the idea of being able to interact with him in that way too. So maybe I should do something like that at some point. But yeah, if you have any ideas, always let me know. Like I'm an open, I'm open to stuff and definitely like good ideas regardless of who came up with them. So yeah, there's my very long video about, wow, holy crap, 1,000 subs, so crazy. Honestly, can't believe it. It blows my mind. And a little recap of 2019 and a little sneak peek of the boringness that we'll be doing the exact same thing in 2020. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Check me out on Instagram on Tapped. No hype beer reviews at both those places. So always please like, comment, subscribe, and no one's watching at this point. Cheers.